qualified team accompanies you on-site at all times to show you the right installation process with the right tools and provides you with technical solutions. The rolls must be stored vertically. The storage temperature must be at least 15 degrees Celsius for 48 hours prior to laying. Consider the position of the doors and windows. The sheets will be preferably laid in the direction of traffic, often lengthways down the room, or in the direction of natural light. If a choice is to be made between the light and traffic, opt for traffic. For a given color, one production batch must be used in the same room. The rolls are numbered and are to be laid in consecutive order. The sheets are laid in alternate directions and follow one another in the order that they are cut from the roll. You should also observe this principle with cut sections. The joint is made with sheet selvage. The seams between the sheets must, wherever possible, be placed outside anticipated areas of heavy traffic. For example, do not have any seams in the doorway. If the geometry of the room is complex, a starting line may need to be marked out. The temperature of the room and the subfloor must be at least 10 degrees Celsius. The lengths are to be cut, leaving sufficient excess material for laying. Begin laying with a full length, generally parallel to the long side of the room. Each subsequent length will be laid parallel, overlapping by approximately 3 centimeters, avoiding any folds or ripples in the sheets. The seam is made by cutting through the 2 overlapping selvages in the case of easy-cut floorings. With others that are harder to cut, cut off a 2 to 3 centimeter selvage with a band cutter, then overlay the previous length by 2 to 3 centimeters, and cut the second length using the first length as a guide. Once the seams are made, the 2 borders are trimmed. The sheets are folded back in half, and a line is drawn to mark out the starting point for gluing to avoid any overlaps of adhesive, which would still be visible once the flooring is laid. Before spreading, sweep the surfaces to be glued thoroughly, the subfloor and the back of the flooring. Use only the specified quantity of manufacturer-recommended adhesives. Use a fine notch spreader and leave the adhesive for the time stated before laying. Do not forget that the flooring must not be applied to the adhesive later than the open time indicated on the drums. The area to be glued can therefore be worked out from the open time and your laying speed. It can also take account of cutting time. Begin gluing the subfloor against a line and spread over the greatest possible length. In the case of large surface areas, proceed in sections. Be sure to mix the adhesive thoroughly in the drum before applying. Begin by laying the full length along the plinth, unrolling it from the marked line towards the end plinth. As you unroll, smooth down the vinyl with a cork block from the center of the sheet to the edges to eliminate air bubbles and ensure good transfer of adhesive by compressing the furrows made with the spreader. Proceed in the same way, length by length, taking care to align the edge of the unrolled length butt to butt with the edge of the previous length. Once this first half has been put into place, the ends of the sheets are trimmed level at the plinths. Then, go over with a roller to ensure the transfer of adhesive to the back of the flooring. We then proceed in the same way for the second part of the laying phase. The seams may be butted, cold welded, or heat welded. Welding is to be done 24 hours after laying. In the majority of residential premises with a U2S or P2 classification and an E1 water resistance rating, the seams do not require welding. For some E1 or E2 rated premises, cold welding is adequate. In this case, use a special cold treatment product with a nozzle designed to inject a bead of sealant slightly thicker than the flooring so that it rises just above the surface. Then, leave alone to dry for a few hours in a dust-free environment. For other E2 and E3 rated premises, heat welding will be carried out by firstly routing the edge with an electric grooving machine, finished at the end of the length with a hand gouge. The depth is to be a few tenths less than the thickness of the flooring to be welded. Clean the joint. Weld with vinyl bead approximately 4 millimeters in diameter using a welding gun at a temperature of 350 to 450 degrees Celsius depending on the thickness and the nature of the flooring. Start up against the plinth and stop around 50 centimeters from the opposite plinth as it is difficult to go any further. Trim the excess bead in 2 stages. First of all, immediately after welding with a trim plate, and then repeat without the trim plate after about 10 minutes. In the meantime, you will have the time to continue the weld seam at the other end and do an internal trim. Note that a successful heat welded seam will not be able to be removed without being ripped from the flooring. Demonstration: door frame. Forbo.С proposes a toolkit specially adapted to vinyl floorings. The flooring shall not be put into service until at least 24 hours after laying for pedestrian traffic, 48 hours after for the fitting of light furniture, and 72 hours after for heavy furniture. Initial cleaning shall not be carried out until at least 48 hours after work has been completed. Sweep or vacuum dust and debris. Wash flat with a solution of water and neutral pH detergent. Clean with a flat dust mop and a moist wipe. Go over with a single brush machine and a red buffer pad at 400 RPM using a neutral pH detergent spray. Or wash flat with a solution of water and neutral pH detergent. Clean with a flat dust mop and a moist wipe. Go over with a single brush machine and a red buffer pad at 150 RPM after dispensing a cleaning solution. Vacuum. Rinse with clear water. Vacuum again and allow to dry. Wash by hand with the cleaning solution. Rinse and allow to dry. Forbo.S provides comprehensive service for layers in its training center located in the factory.